Hi everyone, I'm Bob Moody. I am the Artistic Director of Arizona Music Fest, and I'm talking to you now about our Thursday night festival orchestra concert. This is the big one in which we invite a world superstar of classical music to join us. Last year we had Joshua Bell with us. That was a phenomenal experience. This year we have the incomparable Midori playing with us. Midori, who made a name for herself performing as a very young girl, playing for notables such as Leonard Bernstein. There was a famous incident, of course, where she was playing and she broke the string on her violin, so she took the violin of the concertmaster, and soon she broke another string, and so she took the violin from the second chair player and finished the concerto. She really is one of the great artists of our century. I've had the great pleasure of conducting her a few times, and I'm so happy to welcome her to Arizona. The concert for this great gala with Midori consists of two works. A work by Dmitri Shostakovich, the great symphonist of the 20th century from Russia, and his predecessor, Tchaikovsky, the great composer of Russia of the 19th century. We're opening with Shostakovich Symphony No. 10. So I should tell you that Dmitri Shostakovich wrote 15 symphonies in all, and each has a most interesting character, and they often are based upon the idea that Shostakovich wanted to write in a way that was incredibly free of any restraint. However, at the same time, he, unlike most any other composer of the 20th century, had to live under huge restraint, and this was the pressure of the Soviet government. In the 1930s, Shostakovich wrote an opera called Lady Macbeth of Mtsensk, and one person in particular really hated the opera, and that person, unfortunately, was Joseph Stalin. I can tell you that the last person you want on your bad side during the Soviet era would have been Joseph Stalin. Shostakovich was very fearful about this. He could have been sent to Siberia or worse. And so he began writing in such a way that he had to kowtow to the Soviet regime, to the Politburo, and yet at the same time, he could say what he wanted and express what he wanted somehow underneath the surface. People often look at the music of Stalin to find the second meaning underneath the seemingly overall majestic nature of the way he writes. So the 10th Symphony has a very special place in this story. You see, Shostakovich, along with many composers, I think, were waiting for the day when Stalin would no longer be. That day came in 1953. Stalin died, and Shostakovich wrote the 10th Symphony as the first work that he set to pen after the death of Stalin. There are moments in this piece, I would guide you especially to the second movement and the end of the fourth movement, where you feel like a man has been freed of his chains and is almost manic in the way that he celebrates. It becomes almost a frenzy out of control. It's brilliant to see the score on paper. It's more brilliant to hear this amazing work, the 10th Symphony of Shostakovich. The second half of the concert is all Tchaikovsky and all Midori. We are playing one of the greatest works of Tchaikovsky, one of the most popular works of Tchaikovsky, his phenomenal violin concerto, and the performer, as I've mentioned to you already, is Midori. She will be with us playing this incredible work that has a very lyrical, gorgeous lyrical opening for the violin and for the orchestra, an amazing interplay of dialogue between the orchestra and the violin throughout the work, and a display of some of the greatest, not only musical phrasing, but of course, violin virtuosity. This is a concert not to miss. It's a great honor to have her with us and to have Midori, superstar soloist, playing with our orchestra comprised of superstar orchestral musicians from the top orchestras in the world is going to be really special. See you at the concert.